You're listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
The Thirsty Thursday edition of Sweep the League is upon us. Welcome, everybody. Rudy Campos Jr. here for Sweep the League. Hopefully, we'll be able to have Derek Irvin on tomorrow. Gio probably as well tomorrow. So we'll try to get those guys squared away to come in tomorrow. But for tonight, you are with me tonight. And it was an explosive Thursday. Saw a lot of news in the NBA. Saw some feelings, I don't know if you can call them being hurt. Cryptic tweet, basically, from Trae Young. We saw JJ Redick become the next Lakers head coach. Yeah. We also saw the first trade of the offseason, Alex Caruso and Josh Giddey on the move. We'll get into all those details as well as try to get into the NFL division talk. We'll go through each division, see who our division winners are going to be, preseason picks. Of course, injuries can happen in the preseason. Injuries happen during the regular season. But we'll go down the list and see who's going to be division winners in the NFL. Hell, maybe we'll even talk a little bit of Super Bowl as well. Try to get into some entertainment news. And again, comments, questions, anything y'all guys want to talk about, drop it in the chat. We'll definitely get to it. You know, you guys, this is a show for the people, by the people. Tim Gonzalez, man. Of course, the Blue Devils, apparently Poodle Blue Devils. Obviously, the Blue Devils were in the headlines today by one of their so-called basketball, legends, and JJ Redick being hired by the Lakers. But we'll get into all that right now. Please say you're going to cook the Lakers. We're gonna do our best, Jeff. We're gonna do our best. Rudy, what's good, brother? What's going on, Seth? Appreciate you joining on. Everybody, appreciate y'all joining on again. Sweep the League, all a part of the Sports Insanity Network. Sports Insanity is all Northeast, the Northeast coast of the United States. All those guys in New York, they do a tremendous job up there. North United States we're part of the Sports Insanity Network, so of course we're being broadcast up there as well. And as well as that, I Am Refocused Radio, Shemaya Reed, Shemaya on the Beats, I Am Refocused Radio. Great interviews, man. Cuba Gooding Jr. is one of many interviews that Shemaya has been able to do and provide for you guys out there. So be sure to take a look at I Am Refocused Radio. Again, we are a part of I Am Refocused Radio and Sports Insanity Network. Sweep the League, as always, is brought to you by Mudslingers, Burger Boy, Lids, La Cocina Food Truck, MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, all those guys, partners of Sweep the League. So should we talk about the elephant in the room that is JJ Redick becoming the Lakers' new head coach, or should we start with a certain tweet by a certain, I don't know, maybe possible future Spur? Why don't we just get the Spurs stuff out of the way? We talk a lot. Everybody talks about Spurs all the time, so let's just get the Spurs stuff out of the way. One, Trae Young with the tweet here, basically the hourglass. The hourglass basically counting down. So we see, obviously, Peter Aguilar down below there with the Tony Parker, Tim Duncan fist bump that we've seen, that great meme. Yeah, 76ers not in pursuit of PG. It's act that they're not in pursuit of PG-13, Tim. It's going to be hard to make it happen, and a lot of it has to do with the money as well. So it's going to have to be a trade, and it's going to really take a lot for them to get PG-13 in Philly. But nonetheless, Trae Young. So probably before this offseason even came and gone, before it even started, Trae Young to the Spurs was a very popular idea. And I know a lot of Spurs fans ran with it. You had a good amount of Spurs fans who didn't want to see Trae Young on the Spurs. Doesn't play defense, yada, yada. There's good and there's bad to Trae Young in the silver and black. Obviously, you get a scorer, you get a shooter, you get a guy that runs the point guard position. Does he run the point guard position like a natural point guard? No. I mean, he's a scorer. He's like a Steph Curry type. He's going to score a majority of the time. He can pass the ball. I will give him credit on that. He can pass the ball. But his defense, obviously his defense is a question mark and it's a suspect, and it's something that is it's something on the minds there. But what I look at it like this, guys, in this draft coming up, more often on, I keep saying it, more often you're seeing the most common factor for all these draft picks, and majority, not all, but majority, about 90% of them is defense. A lot of them have struggles on defense. Well, when you have what was supposed to be Defensive Player of the Year, Victor Wembanyama guarding the rim, having your back, that speaks volumes. So I can live with getting, a player blowing by a Trae Young or blowing by a Stephon Castle getting to the basket because you have help in the interior with Victor. That's kind of where I can see if Trae Young does come. Yeah, I see his defense is it's really the biggest issue. But let me give you my thoughts on it. I, for one, have spoken out about not having Trae Young on the San Antonio Spurs. I am one that says I pump the brakes. I don't really like the idea too much. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I never would say that was a terrible move unless you're giving up the farm for Trae Young. When I say the farm, you're giving up, picks this year. You're giving up Atlanta's number one or Atlanta's first round pick next year. You're just giving up a whole lot for Trae Young. I don't buy that part. If Atlanta's willing to accept, so if they're willing to accept the Spurs 2025 pick next year, and then maybe a 2027 pick, first rounder, and maybe if you want to give them both this season, this draft, I don't mind that at all. You can probably do that as well. I don't really mind too much for that. But you're also going to have to give them players. Obviously, Keldon might be a part of it. You may have to throw in Devontae Graham. He's on an expiring contract after this season. So you're going to throw a couple more players there, right? You got to make the money work. Obviously, possibly Zach Collins might be involved in that because I think him and Keldon's contracts kind of get close to what Trae's contract is. So you're going to have to move a good amount of pieces. But it's that 2025 Hawks pick that is the key to everything. I am holding that. I'm holding on to that draft pick like some of these buttons on a great big old person like myself. When we have it buttoned, I'm holding on like that. I'm holding on by threads to that Atlanta Hawks pick because it is that important. Next year's draft, 2025, is ridiculously loaded. And it's ridiculously loaded. We're going to take a show for Sweep the League, and we're going to talk to you guys about the 2025 draft. It's probably going to be after we get done with next Wednesday, which, reminder, next Wednesday we're going live. We're going to be with you the entire first round of the NBA draft. We're going to give you our thoughts on every single pick, not just the Spurs. We're not here just representing the San Antonio Spurs. We're here to talk to you about all the picks. Spurs, everybody included in the first round, will be with you the entire night. We'll do our pre-draft show, we'll do our draft show, and then we'll do a post-draft show. So be sure to tune into that for Wednesday night. Clear your calendars, put ESPN on mute, and listen to us as we guide you guys through the entire draft for the entire first round of the draft. But needless to say, 2025, that first pick, that Hawks pick that's unprotected is so valuable that if I'm willing to trade that 2025 Hawks pick, it's not for a Trae Young. I'm sorry, it's not for a Trae Young. I'm holding on to that for somebody better, somebody proven. Now, let me bounce this off of you guys because it's something that I thought about. Drop it in the comments here. 2025 pick for Atlanta is pretty damn valuable. If you can hold on to it and say you get the Clippers knocking on your door and they want to do, they want to sign Paul George and kind of do an extension with Paul, and you sign and trade for a Paul George. Now, is Paul George worth that 2025 Atlanta Hawks pick? I mean, you're getting a scorer to go alongside Victor. You're getting a defender. So to me, that makes more sense to move the 2025 Hawks pick for a player like a Paul George. Now, if you want a player that doesn't play defense that can score, we've made mention. Phoenix is probably going to have to break up that trio. So dangling that 2025 pick for Phoenix to possibly get one of those guys, not named Bradley Beal, but the other two guys, obviously they're scorers. They check a lot of boxes. So that's why I'm saying 2025 Hawks pick, you've got to hold on to that. You've got to hold on to that. You've got to grab it, put, super glue on your hands and just keep it, hold on to it till that draft comes and goes. It's more valuable than just Trae Young. I have a feeling that if Trae does come to San Antonio, we are going to end up seeing that pick being a part of the package, which is, to me, it's terrible. I would not make that deal. Not for Trae Young. I wouldn't dare put that draft pick in the package for Trae Young at all. So again, the cryptic message from Trae Young being that, he's got the hourglass going. Spurs fans went crazy. They're hyped up, hopefully, to see Trae Young in the silver and black. Could it happen? Very well, possibly. We'll see. The offseason's already started. And with the offseason already starting, we did see a trade today. We'll get into that here right now. Let's get this trade going. It's going to be the Chicago Bulls and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, Woj here. Okay, so you see Alex Caruso going from the Chicago Bulls over to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City sending Josh Giddey to Chicago. Now, the biggest thing that I did see was there were no picks involved in the trade. Oklahoma City didn't have to send Chicago anything, just Josh Giddey. Kind of a head scratcher for me. Josh Giddey didn't get any time, any run in the playoffs. It was hard. He didn't get any time. Obviously, Josh Giddey had that whole incident that happened. So for those of y'all that want to look it up. You got the whole Giddey incident that happened, and I felt that maybe the Bulls were going to actually get a couple of picks in return for it. But last I saw from Wojnarowski was the fact that they didn't trade any picks for it. It was just basically a Caruso for Giddey move, a swap. And Caruso is going to sign an extension with Oklahoma City. What were the Bulls thinking? I know it's the Eastern Conference, but I mean, a Giddey for Caruso. And then you have the thing, we're coming out for Chicago saying that they feel Giddey is going to be the perfect fit for the Bulls. He's a playmaker. Obviously, they have the Lonzo Ball issues there, not being healthy. They feel Giddey can be a Lonzo Ball type of player, and he can be a playmaker that they are desperately needing. So that'll, in their eyes, that helps with DeRozan. That may help keep Levine. I don't know. I still think Levine's on his way out, but that'll help possibly keep DeRozan, which now I'm starting to feel like the Bulls are going to go in a full rebuild mode. I think we're going to see Levine gone. You might even see DeMar DeRozan being moved as well. I think they're going to free up as much cap space as they can, kind of go in that rebuild. They're going to probably try to stockpile as much as they can for the 2025, 2026 draft. And it's something that I really think that we're going to see it, because if you're not taking draft picks back from Oklahoma City, who has a plethora of draft picks, that tells me that you are in rebuild mode and you're giving up some of your best players for guys that are not the same type, not the same playmaker, basically not the same type of player. So Caruso going to Oklahoma City, it has the same feel, not the exact same outcome, but it's got the exact same feel as the Drew Holiday to Boston effect. Oklahoma City, young team. Caruso is a scorer. He's going to give you a lot more scoring than Giddey will. He's also going to play defense. This has that Holiday, that Drew Holiday feel to it, where Boston was knocking on the door. They were getting up there. They were, making noise. They were banging on the door of that title. They went and got Drew Holiday, and the rest is history. And that's how I'm looking right now at Oklahoma City. Technically now, they are technically one player away from, I think, dethroning Denver as a healthy Denver team, and a Denver team that's probably loaded on the bench. I think they're a player away from probably dethroning Denver in that Western Conference as being the number one seed probably year in and year out. Again, Minnesota, the Cat situation, if he's gone, you can't mean to tell me that Minnesota is going to be the same team we saw this past year. Denver, we saw the bench. The bench, there was no bench. Ryan Braun was the only guy for Denver's bench. So this Caruso move has those Drew Holiday vibes for me. Now they just got to go get a big man. If they can go get a big man, play alongside Chet, and you got something cooking in Oklahoma City. You got something cooking. So great move by the Thunder to get Alex Caruso. It makes a whole lot of sense, and they got him for next to nothing. So it makes a ton of sense for this trade to have happened for Oklahoma City and also for the Bulls because, again, it's a rebuild in Chicago. It's going to be a 100% rebuild. Rudy, Locked On NBA is putting together the final mock draft, and the number 6 picks is being offered should low Spurs take it. Depending on what you're trading for a number 6 for, but whoever has gone 1 through 5 in the mock draft, Jeff, I would say if a player is still available that helps the Spurs, definitely make that trade. Again, if you're able to keep 4 and 8 and you're adding 6, but you're not losing a whole lot, I mean, maybe you're giving up a player on the current roster, then yeah, I would say go ahead and do that. Make that trade, get an extra pick in there. 3 picks in the first 10 picks. I mean, you're going to hit on one of them. You have to at least hit on one of them. So I would say that, yeah, if you can make that deal on that mock draft. Need that victory flag shirt. Yeah, I coined that, Tim. I don't remember. I coined that when we were doing the afternoon show. So Casso is still on the board. Risar Shea fell to me at 4. I'm curious to see how this mock draft went. I got to get with you on this mock draft went, because if Casso is still on the board, you're able to get him at 6. If you make that trade, then get him at 6. And then if you still have number 8, if Salone is still there, you take Tejan Salone. If not, Connect's the other guy that I'm looking at too. So definitely I would probably take that trade if it's just, a player for that number 6 pick on that mock draft. So again, grades for the draft today. Chicago Bulls, they're going to get a C+ for me on this one. It would have been a B+ if they would have got a draft pick or 2 in return. But from what I was seeing, that there was no draft picks traded to Chicago. So they're going to get a C+ for me on this one. It's full rebuild mode in Chicago, and for Oklahoma City, they get an A, man. They get an A. I would give them an A+, but I'm going to give them an A just because this checks so many boxes for Oklahoma City. You got a defender. You've got a guy who's, been in the playoffs multiple times in his career. You've got a guy that can score the ball. So it's going to be beneficial for Oklahoma City to have Alex Caruso as part of the Thunder roster going into next season. This is Sweep the League. When we get back, we'll talk more NBA. Obviously, we've got the JJ Redick talk. That'll be our next subject here, talking about JJ Redick being hired as a Lakers head coach. It's a hot topic. You guys stick with me here at Sweep the League. We'll be right back. Living in South Texas, we know tacos are king, especially in the San Antonio and surrounding areas. So if you want the best, then go get the best. La Cocina Taco Truck, located at 283 West San Antonio Street, New Braunfels, Texas, where Lou and his staff are cooking up the most amazing and greatest street tacos you can ever imagine. There is no order too big or too small for Louis and his staff to get going and get ready for you. La Cocina Taco Truck, again, 283 West San Antonio Street, New Braunfels, Texas. They are open Thursday through Sunday evenings. And again, if you want the best, you've got to go to the best. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, partners of Sweep the League. Do you want a refreshing new twist on the tea with ancient roots? Well, Special Leaf Tea is the way to go. Chris Cook, founder and chef of Special Leaf Tea, is introducing everybody to a 4,000-year-old ancient Mediterranean secret, and it is called Special Leaf Tea. Special Leaf's mission is to help people through naturally functional, ready-to-drink iced teas made with olive leaf, all natural ingredients, and no added sugar. Full of antioxidants and immune-boosting capabilities, olive leaf tea is known to help with blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, weight management, and is even naturally energizing without caffeine. That's right, Special Leaf Tea, proud partners of Sweep the League, and as a drinker of Special Leaf Tea, I can attest to all of its great ingredients and better lifestyle. Special Leaf Tea, proud partners of Sweep the League.
Digital rich.
Welcome back to Sweep the League, guys. All right, so let's get into this here right now. I mean, a lot of you guys came to talk about JJ Redick, so hell, why not, right? I mean, we've got to talk about the JJ Redick move. So we'll spend the next segment here. Segment is brought to you by La Cocina Taco Truck. Visit Louis and his staff out there at La Cocina Food Truck. It's in New Braunfels. You know what? Don't even talk to me about, well, we live in San Antonio and it's New Braunfels. We got to drive. Everybody makes a drive. We're all connected now. Head out to New Braunfels Thursday through Sunday nights. Go to La Cocina Taco Truck. Tell Louis you're there. Sweep the League. You heard it on Sweep the League. He's going to hook you up, guys, with some great food, great authentic street tacos. So definitely hit it up 100% of the time. Alex would have been awesome down here. Caruso would have been nice down here. I would have loved that. I definitely. No problem, JC. We're working on the ads. So these are the preliminary ads for everybody there. So we're working on a lot of stuff, but we just had to get some stuff out there for a lot of you guys out there. Just kind of get the ball rolling, man. Really, what NBA team would be the best landing spot for Klay Thompson? I say Klay Thompson. For me, right now, if I'm picking a team, Orlando. Orlando, I think, is the number one spot for Klay Thompson to end up heading. The Warriors offered him a 2-year deal. Looks like he didn't like it. Might not have been anywhere near the money he was looking for. But a young team like Orlando, who desperately needs, you know what, they need another scorer, but they need a veteran scorer, and they wouldn't rely too much on Klay Thompson just as a shooter. So spreads the floor a lot better it clears the lane a lot more better for Paolo Banchero. It also clears the lane for Wagner as well. I mean, they've got a good thing going in Orlando. Klay Thompson there, I think, is a perfect fit for the Orlando Magic. So that's where I'm looking at right now. Of course, I'm going to go check it out soon. I like to eat the body builds. This body build on concrete and tacos, 100%, man, 100%. Shout out to Leha, man, MCS General Contracting too, dude. Yeah, you need a pool, driveway. I mean, whatever, when it deals with concrete work, man, hit up Leha 100% of the time. He's great. I'm trying to convince him to put concrete all over my house, and then we're gonna build a fort-looking, wall and stuff like that. I don't want none of my neighbors in my area, so I want to try to get with him, build me a nice little castle moat and all that stuff. That way we can just keep everybody out except my family and friends. So hit up Leha with MCS General Contracting. His commercial will be coming out here just a little bit. JJ Redick guarantees LeBron gets re-signed, and that's what we're gonna get into, Seth. We're getting into that right now. I don't think it was best for hired for JJ. Okay, so. Also, hey, real quick, Leah, Louis, La Cocina food truck out there in New Braunfels. I'll shoot you the address here in just a little bit. But yeah, hit him up, man. Hit him up. I'm going to be out there pretty soon there as well. So definitely hit him up. So the Redick signing. Okay. Let me take a drink because I definitely got to get that. As I'm taking a drink, we got Louis, the man himself. Yeah, come through. I got you. Hey, Louis, Chris Leha, MCS General Contracting. Leha, Louis, La Cocina food truck. You guys hook up, man. Y'all shoot the shit, whatever. Enjoy the food out there. It's going to be fantastic. Love you, Louis. Thanks for everything, man. Appreciate everything. So JJ Redick, obviously, he gets a 4-year contract to become the next Lakers head coach. Head scratcher, yes. This was the expected hire with the soon-to-be unexpected results, if that makes sense. Because I think you've seen everybody, even Laker fans are like, this is crazy. This is not right at all. Everybody expected JJ to be there. Him and Braun have a podcast. Pelinka's been talking to him, apparently. So you've got ties with JJ and the Lakers. You can't expect them to be title contenders anyway. I mean, you're talking about this team is in shambles. We talked about it last night, you and I. This team is in shambles. Right now, you have behind the scene conversations with Anthony Davis. No telling if Anthony Davis is going to be around there. I mean, I know JJ said coming out saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and, I'm going to try to work with Anthony Davis. I'm going to, basically bring life back into his game, yada, yada. We've got plans. But I mean, what about Bron? Bron's a free agent. And I can tell you right now, this was a big ploy. This is a big card being played by the Lakers. Bron wants Redick. You go and hire JJ Redick. Now you're hoping Bron resigns, which I think Bron's going to resign now. This was kind of part of the under the table deal. JJ goes to the Lakers. LeBron goes back to LA. I think that's kind of the hand that's going to be played. But my question to Laker front office, why? Why JJ Redick? The biggest thing JJ Redick has accomplished was being National Player of the Year in college? He didn't do anything in the NBA. He has no coaching resume. He's a media guy. But people argue with me on the fact of, just because he's not a coach, you can't use that. He has no resume. He has no front office experience whatsoever. No coaching experience whatsoever. And the argument earlier that was made to me was, what about Larry Bird? What about Magic? What about Isaiah Thomas? Steve Nash? Jason Kidd? All these names that were getting named to me about players coming in and becoming head coaches. Let me stop you right there. Chauncey Billups is another one, but Chauncey had coaching experience. Let me stop you guys right there. Those guys that are making that argument as to what you can't use the no coaching experience excuse for JJ getting the job there, because plenty of other players have had no experience and got head coaching jobs. Hold up there. Pull back a little bit. Every guy mentioned has accomplished something in the NBA instead of riding the coattails of other stars and only averaging 12 points a game. Jason Kidd is an NBA title holder, one of the best point guards to ever play the game. Steve Nash, two-time MVP? One of the best point guards to play the game. They both played a position that is technically a coach on the floor. They have to lead their team on the floor. They have some sort of experience leading a team. Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Magic, these guys that have attempted coaching. You mean to tell me that you want to basically package those guys with JJ all in the same bowl? I don't cuss a lot on the show because, again, we are on a family station, but that is BS, major BS to put those guys with Redick. Redick has accomplished zero. Magic, Bird, Isaiah Thomas, those guys probably have accomplished more in one game than JJ's done in his entire career. You're talking about a guy that referred to some of the top 50 players in the NBA, most of which are the top 10, 15 players to ever play the game, referring to them as plumbers and firemen. The disrespect by JJ. Again, you're talking about a guy who basically came out on ESPN and said, there is no star coming to the LA or to Golden State. There's no star. Who's coming to LA and Golden State? There's no way these teams can win a ring anymore. It's going to take, Giannis. It's going to take somebody like that to come to LA to help win a ring. This is the same guy you just hired who has zero belief in your front office. He's clearly said it on national TV. Zero belief in the front office, zero belief in the culture. But because he is LeBron's buddy and LeBron isn't a Laker. Now, think about this. Think about this. LeBron is a free agent. He makes the move because why? Let me see what you're going to do at the coaching position. Are you going to bring in a competent coach like Sam Cassell, or reach out to a now Monty Williams who's out there, or at another time a JB Bickerstaff? Or you know what? Go somewhere else with it. Kenny Atkins is another one. There's a lot of coaches out there that have been assistant coaches for a long time that are working their way up. But there's also guys that have been a head coach before. Adrian Griffin got fired from Milwaukee. He's there. So that's the ploy. Bron is like, well, I'm going to be a free agent. Why? Because I want to see what happens with the coaching carousel that's going on here. I want to see if you hire my guy, the guy that I want. I feel bad for you, JJ. You're walking into a fire because outside of Eric Spoelstra, who the hell has stayed on as a head coach with Bron on that team? Who does it? There's a reason why I love Pop, and LeBron's a great player, but he stays over there and the Spurs stay over here. There's a reason why Steve Kerr is probably like, Bron's one of the best players ever play the game, but we don't really want him here. There's reasons why these coaches that have long tenures with their team aren't out there advocating to add a LeBron James. It's terrible. It's terrible. And that's where I'm getting at. The Laker hire, in my opinion only, and you know what? Hey, full disclosure here. I don't wish the worst. I don't wish bad seasons. I don't wish a bad career on anybody. If JJ comes out here and the Lakers are cooking and the Lakers are, they're one of the hottest teams in the league and he's got them playing together, hey, man, congratulations, man. You're doing it. You're proving me wrong. You're proving everybody who basically wrote you off wrong. That's the name of the game. Prove your haters wrong. And if you do it, by all means, you've made me look like an idiot, and I'm not one to ever say, you know what, nah, I'm gonna stick to my gun to say that. No, I'll give you props. I'll give you your flowers when it's due. But the way it looks right now, it's terrible in Lakerland. It's a Hollywood move for a Hollywood team. That's basically what it comes down to. It's a Hollywood move. You had better coaches out there. And, if I'm Rob Pelinka and if I'm, front office for LA and Bron's playing the card, if I want this guy as my head coach, brother, man, let me wipe my hand clean with you then. You're not going to dictate who I hire. That's just me, though. And that's why I'll probably never, ever have any type of front office position in any NBA team or any sport whatsoever. But to 100%, it's a terrible hire right now. It makes no sense. There's way better coaches out there. But like I mentioned last night, this is a panic hire. They panicked. You got the draft coming up in less than a week. This is panic mode right now. They may have a feeling Bron doesn't resign. I mean, you're already hearing the Bron to Dallas rumors. They have a feeling maybe he won't resign unless they start catering to Bron again. When does it stop? Terrible move, man. Terrible move. Sam Cassell, shout out to you, man. You deserve a head coaching spot somewhere in this league. You really, really do. You put the work in. You put the effort. This job should have been yours. You have Anthony Davis there. Let me see. Does my memory serve me right? Yeah. You played with one of the best all-time greatest centers in the league. You don't think Anthony Davis would have benefited from Sam Cassell being the next Lakers head coach? Give me an effing break. Cassell could have easily made the call and said, you know what? Let me fill my bench out here. Hey, Dream, would you like to be an assistant for the LA Lakers? It's limitless to what some of these other coaches would have been able to do with LA. Sorry, JJ. An in-season tournament doesn't mean shit. Lakers won it this past year. Doesn't mean anything. It means you were hot at the right time on the right part of the season. So, yeah, doesn't mean anything. If all you're going to do is provide in-season tournament wins, and that's all, maybe not even make the playoffs. Hell, maybe make the playoffs, but just get knocked out in the first round. You're not going to see the end of that 4-year contract, sir. You're really not. If I was you, I would have probably taken the job at another team, get your feet wet, see exactly how it is in coaching the NBA, because it's different, man. It's different. But hey, you got the job. Congratulations on that. But again, way better options out there for head coaches in the NBA. Way better option out there. Let's get to some of these comments here, man. We got a bunch of comments coming in. So let's see. Sith is in here. Louis was come through. Leha's going to see him. So again, y'all two, Leha and Louis, definitely hook up, man. It's gonna be a great meetup there. Great hookup there. Hope I can meet up both of you guys out there at the same time. He doesn't make it past 11 months. Probably not. I mean, I think 18 months is what a lot of people are saying. So you're talking a year and a half. I think he probably makes it through the first year. I'm gonna give him that much, but I don't know about after that. It depends on what happens this year. I give JJ 1 year and he'll be gone next year. It's kind of the way I'm feeling about it. Being that they run a podcast, is there no tampering rule or something? JJ was as good as Doug McDermott, nothing special. Goes back to what I said. JJ's biggest accomplishment has been National Player of the Year at Duke. That's it. Didn't win a national title, hasn't won an NBA title, hasn't been worth an S in the NBA. The comment that JJ made about, the guys that played, the Bob Cousy's and those guys being plumbers and firefighters, well, brother, man, your career was nothing special. Those guys are Hall of Famers. They are legends of the game. The only time you're seeing your jersey raised up is at Cameron Indoor in college. So for you to call these legends plumbers and firemen and whatever and have disrespect for them, take a look in the mirror. Because last I checked, your name's not in the Hall of Fame. Your jersey is definitely not retired in any NBA arena. Hell, people don't even name you as being one of the best shooters of all time. F with the disrespect, man. That's what irritated me the most out of it. But now you're a head coach. Take it on full blast, man. Take it on full blast. Mark Jackson would have been a great fit. I agree with the Mark Jackson. The only problem is that Mark Jackson, there's something about it, man. People are saying he's been blackballed in the NBA. Gio mentioned it last night about him being blackballed in the NBA. So Mark Jackson's a great coach. So the Lakers just blow it up. I feel so. I think the Lakers really should blow it up, man. 100% blow it up. They don't. You let Braun walk, that saves you a lot of cash right there. You could trade Anthony Davis for a buttload of picks, I'm sure. But not only that, you can get some young guys in return for Anthony Davis. All you have to do is send Anthony Davis in a first aid kit, and you'll get a whole bunch in return for AD. The rebuild, I think, should happen. They should blow it up. I really do. As it is, D'Angelo Russell should be gone. He's not an answer there at all. So, yeah, definitely blow it up, in my opinion. Renee Cantu. Appreciate it, Renee. What's up, man? How you doing? With the mic drop. I try, Renee. I try, man. I try. Rudy's cooking. Preach, brother, preach. I'm trying, Leha. I like to keep it real, especially when I'm wearing the USOA shirt. Well, what is it? It's no feelings, only chaos, and that's what we're trying to cause right now. Straight up chaos. Alum Study Podcast. Lakers reaching with JJ Redick with the franchise back in the fan base will be in shambles. Again, I agree. It's a bad look and a bad move for LA. But again, guys, if it works out, I will be the first to come on the show and be like, you know what? I apologize, man. It worked out. It worked out great for JJ. So, hey, by all means, have a great career. Whatever. But if you're asking me right now, it's an S show. It's an S show out there. JC Lakers would blow it up. Yeah, I mean, I would blow it up for sure, man. LeBron wanted JJ, so when they suck ass, he can blame the head coach again because he will always blame everyone else. 100%, that's what we said. Will JJ last as long as Spoelstra has? No. Spoelstra's the only guy that's lasted who's ever coached LeBron James. Everybody else has been gone. I mean, I don't see how JJ can last that long with LeBron. Love watching the Lakers turmoil. Exactly. It's fun. And, we're just getting started here. Rudy, what about the two all of a sudden release a podcast together and JJ becomes the LA head coach? That's what I'm saying. They're best friends. Like, they're friends. They're podcast buddies. And that's what it is. LeBron becomes a free agent. That's his kind of the arm twisting for the Lakers and Pelinka and saying, I'm a free agent. Let me see what y'all do. Oh, hey, we hired JJ. He sent that text message. See, you got the job. Let's get to work. I'm coming back to LA. Watch, it's going to happen here pretty soon. Probably the next couple of weeks, or whenever the free agent signing period happens, you're going to probably see Bron re-up with the Lakers, with no doubt in my mind. They don't care about championships. They care about headlines. Again, it's a Hollywood move. It's a Hollywood move. He should have taken the Pistons or Cavs job. Honestly, Tim, I don't mind him taking one of those jobs, but I feel he should have taken on some kind of role. I mean, Manu Ginobili has had a little bit of coaching, dabbled in coaching with the Spurs behind the scenes. We saw Tim Duncan on the bench for the San Antonio Spurs. That's something that I would like to have seen for JJ first. Become a part of a coaching staff. I guarantee you a coach out there would have taken him under his wing. Chauncey Billups is another one. Sam Cassell, who I mentioned, is another one. Hell, one of the good coaches back in the day, Jeff Van Gundy, is now, what is he, lead assistant in LA for the Clippers? I mean, he's getting his foot back into coaching. Baby steps, man. Baby steps. You got to take baby steps. He rides out with LeBron, probably so. He probably checks out the same time LeBron does. He's known for a decent arm sleeve tattoo. Doesn't really matter on the arm sleeve stuff. You can have all the tattoos in the world, Sith. You can have all the pretty looks in the world, perfect hair, perfect teeth, whatever. But if you can't coach, you can't coach. Can't really help you on that much, man. So that's the way I got to look at it. This is Sweep the League, man. We've talked to some JJ Redick. I got to catch my breath. I got a little haywire there. I got a little upset, as you could tell. But nonetheless, this is Sweep the League. Shout out to USOA, the boys out there, USOA. I mean, what is it? It's no feelings, only chaos. USOA. Shout out to all the boys out there in the USOA. If you don't have a USOA shirt, contact Leha, man. Contact the USOA. They got a Twitter on there as well. Look up USOA. Contact them. Get your shirt today. Got to be approved, though. I know there's certain people out there that want to be in there and that can't be in there. Sorry. I guess I'm cooler than you. Rudy Campos Jr. will be back. MCS General Contracting is here to make life easy for you. Rudy Campos Jr. for Sweep the League, coming to you for MCS General Contracting. Chris Leha and the boys are out to provide the absolute best service and quality work. Whether it's that perfect patio in the backyard or possibly the front yard, or you need that durable driveway, well, it's hot in San Antonio majority of the time, so what about that long-awaited swimming pool you've been wanting to get? Contact the boys over at MCS General Contracting. They will take care of everything that you need, and I guarantee you they are the best in the business. MCS General Contracting, partners of Sweep the League. Attention coffee drinkers, Mudslingers Coffee, 2404 Thousand Oaks Boulevard, Monday through Sunday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That should be your first and only stop for your coffee needs. Rudy Campos Jr. coming to you from Sweep the League. Hey, man, if you are wanting that specialty espresso drink, whether it be the cinnamon bun avalanche, the German chocolate cake, or the original, the Mudslinger itself, or why not go with the Muddy O Slinger Or you know what? If you like the classics like myself and you just want to chill with a latte, a chai tea, or just grab an Americano, Mudslingers is the place to go. Hey, they even have cold drinks, the Italian soda, the Lightning Bolt Italian soda, Fruit Slinger smoothie. Oh, you know what? Let's not forget the most important thing there besides coffee. Those hot mini donuts. I haven't had a donut in a long time, but that should not stop you from heading over to Mudslingers and grabbing some of those hot mini donuts as they come out. That is, again, Mudslingers drive-through coffee, 2404 Thousand Oaks Boulevard, Monday through Sunday, 6 to 6. Why do you choose Mudslingers? Because life is too short for bland coffee.
Digital rich. Digital rich.
USOA is the version of the NWO. That is right. We are the NWO version, USOA. So shout out to Tim Gonzalez. So yeah, I mean, we're going to get into some NFL talk here. All right, NFL guys, we got Locked On Spurs here. Let me get on this. How much of an S show will LA be next year? Think about it, LeBron, JJ, and if they draft Bronny. I don't think they're going to draft Bronny. Here's my thing. Bronny's probably going to be a second round pick. And I know it's probably going to upset LeBron in the long run, but if you're drafting Bronny, okay, let's go this way, Jeff. If you're drafting Bronny in the lottery, I don't care who you are. Pack your bags. You're fired. That's stupid to draft him in there. If you draft him from 15 to 24, you're senile. You are thinking something's there when it really isn't. 25 on down in the first round, I could say probably because a lot of those teams are already established, so they're not really adding a whole lot. They can afford to reach on a pick. So in the first round, maybe so. Maybe you can get him in where he gets that guaranteed money. But even at that, I actually have him being drafted in probably the late 40s, early 50s in this NBA draft. But good question. It's going to be it might be an S show. And you know what? It may not be an S show. It may actually work out great. Like I said, the whole thing is for JJ to come in and quiet all the haters. There are more people hating on this, and those that are not hating on it are like crazy Spurs fan, where they feel that everything is going to work out and that if this player comes here, damn it, the Spurs are title contenders. It's like I told you many times on Locked On. It's crazy how no matter who is a free agent, when Woj or Shams says, oh my God, this player is unhappy, not even a minute later, seconds later, you see the retweets, he would be a good Spur. The Spurs should look into him. Why is it every time a player becomes available? I mean, you could see, Yao Ming attempting a comeback. Spurs need to look at him. It'll be somebody out there will say that. It'll be somebody out there saying that. But nonetheless, the S show, I mean, it's senile Laker fan who thinks this is going to work. I get it. You're positive. Stay positive. I totally get that. But look at the bigger picture, man. He doesn't really have a good team to work with right now. I mean, Anthony Davis is the only superstar on that roster, and he's not a very happy superstar. I mean, deep down inside, I really don't even think he likes playing with LeBron, to be honest with you. D'Angelo Russell, come on, man. It's D'Angelo Russell. He should be gone. So it's going to be, it probably will be an S show. Hopefully it's not, because like I said, I don't like to see people fail, but hopefully not, man. Hopefully it's not, but more than likely it is going to be an S show going into next season. All right, some football talk here. So we're going to run down the divisions for you guys real quick. Again, if you feel like, you got to take in the division here for your favorite NFL team, let me know. Drop them in the comments here. So football talk for one of our last segments here. Let's go to the AFC East. Obviously, you got Buffalo, you got Miami, you got the Jets, you got New England. Safe to say New England's probably going to be the bottom feeder there. I'm not going to say that they're going to be the bottom feeder for a long, long time. Coach Mayo there. I think he's going to have that team competing week in and week out. But for this season, with Drake May being there, it's going to be a learning curve. I know Ramondre Stevenson just got signed to an extension. He's gonna be probably a workhorse there for the New England Patriots. I have them at 4. Coming in at number 3, I actually have the Buffalo Bills at number 3 right now. Josh Allen they're going to be above 500. They're going to win games. I think Josh Allen is going to have another good season, but there's just too much going on. I think with Buffalo, too much turmoil for Buffalo right now. I see them as the 3rd best team in that division. Number 2, I have the Miami Dolphins as the number 2 team. Again, Tua, Tyreek Hill, Waddle. They got so much talent there, but can Tua stay healthy, which he primarily did stay healthy last season. But also they've got to expand a little bit more. I mean, you saw a lot of times where they played some really good teams and they struggled bad. So I want to see them take another step forward. I do have them as the 2nd best team. It wouldn't surprise me to see Miami as the 3rd best team and Buffalo too. Those can kind of be interchanged. But right now, I do have the New York Jets sitting at number 1. You got Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. The offense is going to click with Rodgers there. You got Mike Williams that you added there. The defense speaks for itself. I think the offensive line was something that they had to improve on, and they did improve on the offensive line. So right now, I've got the Jets at 1. I've got either Miami or Buffalo 2 or 3. You can interchange those 2 teams, and I've got New England coming in at number 4. That's how I have the AFC East playing out. Head over to the AFC North now. The Hard Knocks division. It's going to be the midseason Hard Knocks division. AFC North battle here. This is the division where I said that this is the quarterback division. Every team has a top quarterback. You can say Pittsburgh has Russ, who's already over the hill and back part of his career, but I like Justin Fields there. Justin Fields is going to be. I still think he's going to be a week 1 starter over Russ. I'm saying that now. I've been saying it for a little bit. I'm saying it now. I have Justin Fields starting week 1 over Russ, but you got Baltimore, you got Cleveland, you got Pittsburgh, you got Cincinnati. All of those teams finished above 500 last year. That was without Burrow. Cincinnati's going to be back with a vengeance this year. This is a very tough division for me to basically come in and say who's going to win it. The favorites are going to be Baltimore. I can see Lamar Jackson, MVP candidate every single year. I can definitely see Baltimore being number 1. I can also see Cincinnati being number 1 with Burrow back. T. Higgins back on a 1-year deal. Cleveland, Deshaun Watson, Amari Cooper. I mean, you saw what they did last year. They were 11-6 last year. Cleveland could win this division. To me, Pittsburgh is the weakest team in this division, but they all still finish 500. This is going to be the best division in football again this season. It's going to be the AFC North. So let's go with this right here. We're going to go with coming in at number 4 again, all 500 teams. I'm going to take Pittsburgh at 4, Cleveland at 3, Cincinnati 2, Baltimore 1. But again, all these teams finish above 500. They will all finish above 500 this season. This is the best division in all of football, the AFC North. AFC South. I know Leha's waiting for the NFC South. We'll definitely get the NFC South here in just a minute. AFC South, you got the Texans, you got the Jaguars, you got the Colts, you got the Titans. This is the Texans division to lose. I've got them number 1. I've got them as being a top 2 team in the AFC. I've got them being as probably a top 4 or 5 team total overall in the NFL. But as far as the AFC South goes, I have the Texans at number 1. Coming in at number 2, this is going to surprise a lot of people. I'm going to go from 4 on down. At 4, I actually have Indianapolis at 4 right now. That's who I've got going in at 4. I can interchange them with Jacksonville, but I've got both Jacksonville and Indianapolis coming up at 3 and 4. Those 2 teams are interchangeable. I surprisingly like the Tennessee Titans. The offensive line is built. They've got decent receivers there. The defense, it's not bad. The defense is not bad. The running game, obviously, you don't have Derrick Henry. They end up getting Pollard, which we saw in Dallas. Pollard, didn't work out in Dallas, but they also have other running backs there. I feel that we're going to see Will Levis, take another step forward for the Tennessee Titans. I have the Titans finishing at 2 ahead of Jacksonville and ahead of Indianapolis, but I do see Houston running away with this. In fact, this is a division where we only get one team in, and that is the Houston Texans, again, barring any injury. Give me Houston to win the division, and Houston being the only team making the playoffs in this division. AFC West, Herbert, Mahomes, Aiden O'Connell. That's not even a great name, right? Aiden O'Connell. And then Bo Nix is for Denver. This division is kind of a head scratcher. Obviously, we're taking Kansas City to finish number 1 in the AFC West. At number 2, surprisingly, I kind of like the Raiders in this division at number 2. Number 3, I've got the Chargers. Number 4, I have the Broncos at number 4 coming up on the rear there. So right now, I think Mahomes, you kind of just gave him more weapons that he didn't really we didn't want to give him. I mean, you're giving him Hollywood Brown, you're giving him Xavier Worthy. So yeah, it's going to be air raid Texas Tech style in Kansas City again with Mahomes, with the speed of Brown, the speed of Worthy. Rashee Rice, if he doesn't get suspended for an entire season, he may get suspended for a few games. Rashee Rice is going to be your slot guy. He's going to be the guy that's catching out of the backfield. Kansas City is just set up to dominate this division again. Surprisingly, I have Kansas City as probably the 3rd best team in the AFC. Their defense, let's be real, last year the Chiefs won the Super Bowl because of their defense. It wasn't so much because of Mahomes. It was their defense. If their defense wasn't as good as it was last year, the Chiefs are not Super Bowl champions. Let's just put that to rest. They're not winning the Super Bowl if their defense is not as good as it was last year. This year, the offense is going to be highly improved. But nonetheless, I say I have them as the 2nd or 3rd best team in the AFC overall. But I think they're going to wind up winning this division. Again, this is another division I think we probably only see one team get in, and that's Kansas City. Let's head over to the NFC. So we're going to save the NFC East for last because we got a bunch of Cowboy fans in the state of Texas, obviously. So we're going to start off the NFC West. You got the Niners, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Cardinals. This is going to be a very competitive division. I have the Cardinals coming in the rear, being number 4 again in this division. They finished 4-13 last year. I don't really see them making a huge jump. They may get another maybe total 6-7 wins at most, but I have them coming up in the rear on the NFC West. Seattle Seahawks, I have them actually at number 3 again, finishing 3rd again in the West. I see them finishing above 500. They went 9-8 last year. I think they're probably going to end up going 9-8 again this season. Number 2, I have San Francisco 49ers. We talked, me and Gio talked at the end of last year for football, especially during the Super Bowl. This was the Super Bowl window for San Francisco, I feel, is closing a little bit. And not to say that they're going to take a step back. I still think they're going to get to probably 11 wins this season. I mean, they're going to be a playoff team, so anything can happen in the playoffs. But I don't know, man. It has that weird feeling in San Francisco. I just feel like there might be a little bit of turmoil in the receiving room there with Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. Brock Purdy has to continue to play very, very well. Obviously, McCaffrey's going to McCaffrey. George Kittle's getting a lot older, so we got to keep in mind, he's had a couple of injuries that have gotten to him. So I think with San Francisco, it's going to probably still be a good season, but I have them at number 2, which means I have the Rams at number 1. The receiving core, man, for the Rams is superb. Kyron Williams is coming back, for the Rams at the running back position. Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's been, rejuvenized basically for the Los Angeles Rams. I know the loss of Aaron Donald hurts, but I still think their defense is going to be good enough to keep them in games and allow them to win. I've got them probably winning around 12 games this season, so give me the Rams at number 1. NFC North, Bears, Vikings, Packers, Lions. This is going to be the Lions division again. one of the best teams in the NFL last season went and reloaded again in the offseason. They did the same thing the Texans did in the AFC. The Detroit Lions reloaded again, where they've been to the draft or free agency. They reloaded, and I love what they did there. So one move I'd like to see them make is go after another receiver. There was mention on a website about, I believe it might have been ESPN, that mentioned Mike Thomas as potentially a guy that they should go after. That would be a huge, huge bonus for the Detroit Lions to go get a Michael Thomas, veteran wide receiver. You're not going to ask him to do much. Obviously, with Amon-Ra St. Brown there, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, you're not going to ask him to do much there. So with Michael Thomas getting, a lot of those little dink and dunk time passes, and then maybe breaking it off for, a deep pass from Jared Goff, Michael Thomas to the Detroit Lions would be huge for them. So give me them at number one. Number two, I have the Green Bay Packers. Again, they'll make the playoffs this year. We saw they were the youngest team, I believe, last year. They've grew a whole lot last year. They made a fantastic run to the playoffs. I still think we're going to see some really good play out of Jordan Love. The receiving core is going to be fantastic. I'm loving the Green Bay Packers. I'm giddy about them this year. Number three, I'm going to take the Bears at number three reluctantly. Again, I got to see what happens with Caleb Williams, man. You've given him a team. You surrounded him with a team on the offensive side of the ball. Can he make something happen? Can he get over some of those demons that we saw in college? And I know a lot of people say, well, it's college. So, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, it's a mental game for a quarterback. Quarterback's all mental. It's all mental. If you don't have the mentality to be an NFL quarterback, you're going to get burned all the time. It's a quicker game in the NFL. The window that you had in college is like that now in the NFL. Players are a lot faster. They're a lot smarter than what you see in college players as well. So I have them at number three reluctantly. Minnesota, I have at 4. Wouldn't surprise me to see Minnesota at number 3 and Bears at number 4. But I think those two teams end up missing the playoffs this season. Let's head over to the NFC South. Leha, you were asking about the NFC South here. So Carolina is definitely number 4. They're number 4. Maybe they get to 3 wins this year. I have no idea. They're definitely number 4. I'm not taking Carolina at all. At number 3, it's tough, man, because I saw what Tampa Bay did last year. I like what New Orleans is looking at, but I'm going to tell you this much. When it comes to the Saints, Leah, if they ride with Derek Carr, they're going to be mediocre. If they allow Spencer Rattler or Haener to be their quarterback, they're going to be a little bit better. So I hope they allow these kids to compete a lot in the preseason and get a lot of first-team reps with some of these starters, because you'll definitely see an exciting style of football with both of these guys. Derek Carr is Derek Carr, man. I mean, he's gonna just get you across the finish line. But you've got 2 quarterbacks sitting there with Haener and Rattler. From what I'm understanding, if Rattler is the number 2, they may look to trade Haener out of New Orleans, because the kid deserves to play somewhere. So they could probably get a pretty good haul for Haener. But I do like Rattler there. I do love Haener there. If they end up going with one of those guys eventually, I think you're going to see the Saints starting to climb a little bit. But for right now, I've got New Orleans and Tampa Bay interchanged at 2 and 3. Toss it up, do a coin flip. I don't know. I do have the Atlanta Falcons at number 1. It's not biased. They were a quarterback away from being, that team in that division. They shorted up with Kirk Cousins. They've got a backup in Michael Penix, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson. They've got players now. They've got a quarterback that can guide that team, that young team, get the players in the right positions. He can make the right throws. He's going to help them. And Kirk Cousins wins, man. He does win. Obviously, wherever he's gone, he's won. So he's a winner. And that's what I like about them. So Atlanta's going to be 1. Interchange 2 and 3 is Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Again, watch out for Rattler and Haener out there. I love the quarterback room in New Orleans, man. And then, of course, you have Carolina at 4. So the last division we're going to get to before we end this season, or this episode of Sweep the League, NFC East, Dallas Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Commanders. Real quick, man. Let's see what the comments are. Tua deserves a new contract with the Dolphins. Again, it's a Dak Prescott decision. He's worth it. There's nobody out there better than him that's going to help your team. May as well sign him, right? The NFC is strong last year. Stay tuned. Let's put another wager. Of course, we'll do another wager between the Falcons and the Saints this year. I feel a lot more confident this year than I did the year that I ended up wagering with you because we didn't have a quarterback at the time. Nonetheless, Dallas, Philadelphia, the Giants, Commanders. The Giants and Commanders can kind of flip-flop at 3 and 4. I like the Commanders more than I like the Giants. Not by much. I think you might see 6 wins from the Commanders, maybe 5 from the Giants. Again, it could be either or. It could be, the head-to-head matchups that's going to decide on who finishes 3 and 4. So give me the Giants and the Commanders at 3 and 4. If I had to pick who is 4, I'm going to take the Giants at 4, the Commanders at 3. Number 2 could surprise a lot of people. Here. I actually have number 2 as the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the better team on paper in that division. But it's something in my stomach that tells me that the Cowboys are going to have another good regular season. I have the Cowboys probably at 12 wins this season. The Eagles, I probably have around 12 wins as well. But when it comes to the tiebreaker, I think Dallas is going to hold the tiebreaker over Philly. It's tough. I mean, the Eagles ended up getting Saquon Barkley. They had a breathtaking draft this season too. So I can see how Eagles fans are hyped up and already claiming the number 1 spot. I think Dallas ends up getting number 1 by a smidge. This is another one. You can go 1-2, just flip-flop them if you want. But for my sake, as of right now, until I get into the preseason, until we see injuries or anything like that, I'm going to take the Eagles at 2, the Cowboys at 1 in this division. Best team in the NFC, the Detroit Lions. Far and beyond. The Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFC, and I think the Rams are second best team in the NFC right now. Those are your division talks, man. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get Gio back on. I know we were going to talk some entertainment news. The entertainment news I was going to bring up was George Lopez and that little incident he had, but, I think I went a little too long on the JJ rant. That's more important than George Lopez. I know he's coming to San Antonio, but I don't even know who the hell's going after he walked out on that casino just because somebody supposedly was heckling him. Come on, you're going to be in front of a crowd at the Frost Bank Center, and you think they're going to stay quiet? They're not going to say stuff to you? Get real, man. Get real. If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Shout out to George Lopez on that one. This has been Sweep the League. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow. It's Friday, so it might be an early edition of Sweep the League. The only way for you guys to know when we go live is to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, hit that notification button. That way, when you're on your phone, you're doing your work, if you see the notification, hey, Sweep the League is going live, you're locked in and ready. Tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have Gio and Derek Irvin back on the show. Try and do a little something special for Derek tomorrow because, again, newly inducted in the UTSA Hall of Fame. So shout out to Derek Irvin. Congratulations again from all of us here at Sweep the League. So until we sweep the league again tomorrow, guys, we will see you tomorrow. Hey, be safe out there. It's been raining a lot in San Antonio. Stay safe, guys. See you tomorrow. Hey, guys, deciding what to get for lunch or dinner? Well, let me stop you there and let me help you out. Redick Campos Jr., first Sweep the League, coming to you for the one, the only San Antonio Current's #1 burger stop, voted the best burger in town, Burger Boy. With 7 locations, 2 more on the way, there's no excuse for you not to go and get Burger Boy for you and the family. Need something to try? Do the all-popular bait special, the Burger Boy regular fries and a regular drink. Or, you know what? Go with the ever-so-popular Working Man, the Double Boy, the large fries, and a large drink. You don't want a regular drink? Wash it down with the Shake of the Month. Burger Boy has it all. And you know what? If you're a little bored and you need to mix it up a little bit, get those large fries, and get them fully loaded with bacon and jalapenos and cheese. Yummy. It is Burger Boy, again, voted best burger in San Antonio. When you try the rest, why? Just go for the best. It's a taste you crave. It's Burger Boy.